will now be recorded.
Thank you for joining the City of Kingston's Common Council at our Caucus meeting. Today is Monday, June 1st. My name is Andrea Schott, the Council President and organizer for our virtual meetings. Before we begin, we would like to go over a few guidelines to help us navigate this system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We ask that members of the public and press remain muted and off camera for the length of the meeting. As organizer, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Council members and city staff will control their own mute button. Good practice would be to mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a council member or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hands. The chairperson will call on them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners. All of our meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city's website. Although we will not have public speaking tonight, you could submit written comments to the City of Kingston Clerk, Elisa Tinty, at emtinty@kingston-ny.gov, or by dropping them off at the drop box located outside the side door of City Hall. We also encourage you to reach out to committee chairs or your ward's representative at any time. If you have any audio issues, send a text message to the following number, 845-594-6120. I'll repeat this number again, but be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number to text is 845-594-6120. As the organizer for today's meeting, I reserve the right to block and pause the meeting to eject anyone who has behaved inappropriately. Lastly, at tonight's meeting, we have in attendance Chair Majority Leader Rennie Scott Childress, committee members or council members, Alderman Steve Shabbat, Alderman Doug Koop, Alderman Tony Davis, Alderman Patrick O'Reilly, Alderman Don Tollerman, Alderman Jeffrey Ventura Morel, Alderwoman Rita Worthington, Alderwoman Rochelle Hirsch. City staff, we have City Clerk Elisa Tinty. Thank you for your patience during these difficult times, and on behalf of the Common Council, I wish you and your family good health. I now turn the floor over to Majority Leader Scott Childress.
Thank you much, President Schott. Appreciate everyone being here tonight, especially with the weather looking so nice, feeling so good outside. Very welcome. Before we get started tonight, I would like to acknowledge that we are living through some very difficult times. A lot of people are under stress, strain. We've had some horrifying events occur, both in the longer term and in the very short term. So I'd like to give each of the members of the Common Council, if they wish, a minute or two to speak to any of these issues, to let folks know how they're feeling. No pressure. It's totally voluntary if you'd like to. If we don't speak for a minute or two, that's fine. We'll think of it as a moment of silence. To think of those who have been suffering so grievously in the past, recent past. All right, thank you very much. With that, we will get started. Does anybody have anything to report from any committees that may have met online? Anything of importance percolating out there that we should know about before we get started with the legislation for tomorrow? The one thing that I will note, the Climate Smart Committee that I'm on was very excited that the City of Kingston, and a bit of good news, we have been awarded the silver level of economic development. Environmental development. We're the first city in the entire state to achieve this. A couple of other jurisdictions have achieved it, but no other cities. I think this is something to be immensely proud of. We would thank both the mayor and Julie Noble, who have led this charge. Julie Noble has been on this for quite a number of years. this is quite a powerful testament to their dedication and to the interest of all the citizens of Kingston in becoming environmentally sustaining. That said, we can move on to the legislation. Tonight, we are looking at Resolution 96. Apparently, there's a grammar issue before us. Resolution 96, adopting the standard word day. I believe that should be work day for elected and appointed officials for the New York State retirement system. Everybody good with that one? Especially once we get the word work fixed. All right, good. Resolution 97, authorizing a budget transfer in the 2020 Parks and Recreation budget to pay for services to complete various parking areas at Forsyth Park. Anything to note about this one? This came through finance.
Doug Coop speaking, Chair of Finance. I think it's a straightforward budgetary transfer to transfer money from Parks and Recreation account, a grant, New York State grant, in the contracted services to do the work.
And there's no
financial impact to the city.
Great. So is everybody okay with this one? All right, good. I will move on to Resolution 98, authorizing a budget transfer, in the 2020 Parks and Rec Department in the amount of $1,300 for facility improvements at the Rondout Neighborhood Center. Same deal, right, Doug?
It's from the CDBG reimbursement in the contracted services. No financial impact. So it's pretty clean.
Great. All right. Everybody good with that one? All right, then, Resolution 99, authorizing a reduction in the general fund budget in the amount of $829,550 to cover shortfalls during the COVID-19 global pandemic. Questions or concerns about this one? One hurts. Don Tollerman?
Just, I assume John Toohey's keeping a separate spreadsheet so that when we look back, we can account for the additional spending and where it's going. Anybody know?
Rennie Scott Childers here. I don't know specifically that he's keeping a separate spreadsheet per se, but I'm positive he'd be keeping close track on this. But Doug Coop, do you want to communicate with John?
I can tell a little bit. I mean, the cost reductions of $829,550 are from three sources. General spending of $671,268. Beyond that, Don, the specifics, I couldn't tell you right here. Reduction of overtime, $149,726. And then there's a catch-all involving snow and ice removal and a little bit at the Rondout Neighborhood Center, $8,556. That's the makeup of the 829. It's probably only a partial answer to your question. Where's the breakout of 671,268? It's just general spending across the board. John Toohey and the mayor have gone to their departments and asked them to essentially cough up what reductions they could have. So that's about all the detail I can give you on that. Probably in the paper we have, there may be some spreadsheets which delineate all this, but just speaking right now, I don't know.
I believe there was a list provided. I thought there was a list provided of the breakdown.
Yeah, I think there was I think there was a spreadsheet that came with the mayor's
there was a very detailed spreadsheet.
There was a detailed spreadsheet, and which I don't have in front of me right now.
Rennie, Elisa has something.
The
Okay,
breakdown
Lisa?
is on the website. It's attached to the resolution on the website. It's many, many pages long.
Okay. Great. So, I hope everybody's okay with that one. Tony, did you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, Tony Davis here. What is going on with the meetings that I believe Doug, Rennie, Andrea, John, the mayor, and I thought you guys were supposed to be having some sit downs or meetings and discuss and monitor the financial situation of the city. And I believe we're in phase 1, if I'm correct, right? And has been discussion about phase 2. Where are we at in regard to phase 2? Our financial situation. Have you guys been meeting on a regular basis?
Yes, we are already into phase 2. I believe it's 19 city employees are on temporary furlough, which means that they are receiving still their various insurances and so forth. We have met with, we met with John Toohey, I guess, a week ago or so. And basically, we're still kind of in the same place we were the last time we met, where we're waiting for information from the state about what monies they're going to provide to us, how much they're going to have to reduce any promised monies. We're also, of course, waiting to hear from the federal government. That's been tied up because of the wrangling at the national level. And our John's projections for revenue from taxes, sales tax, and so forth, those are tending toward the more dire number that he gave us. He gave us those 3 numbers early on in the crisis. So the dilemma is not having, very clear information still. President Schott?
And June 4th, John will be able to give us a little bit more information after that date, because that's when he'll get the next sales tax, which will be the first one that was fully collected during COVID-19. So that's what he's been kind of waiting for, is that moment to really see what things look like. And we do have a meeting scheduled for June 5th, and I'll make sure to take notes and pass it along to everybody. But really, like Rennie was saying, what we've heard so far is there's a lot of waiting, and we don't know. But yeah, we did enter into phase 2. They are looking at they haven't started phase 3 yet, but phase 2, so the furloughed employees would come back August 1st. And that will, between the June 4th sales tax and then what happens after August 1st will kind of determine if we're going into phase 3.
All right. Any other questions, concerns, issues? All right, then we'll move to Resolution 100, authorizing a temporary easement to the New York State Department of Transportation and to move a shed for the Wirtz Street Bridge project. Everybody clear on this one? Need an explanation? Anybody? Steve Shabbat?
Yeah, I just want to make a note in case anybody wasn't there when we discussed this. We're actually going to be making money from this easement.
It's
That
a
if
huge
money
amount, right?
influences your vote.
It's several $100s, right?
$650 positive impact to the city.
Yeah. Well, it's better than nothing. We'll take it.
If that's not enough to sway your vote, I don't know what is.
To anybody's listening, that's money going to the city, not to any of us. Resolution 101, similar, authorizing a temporary easement to the New York State Department of Transportation for the Empire State Trail work. This one also is going to bring a little bit of money into our coffers, right, Steve?
Yeah, I can't remember how much. It's pretty minimal, but it's better than being on the downside of it.
Yes, Doug.
It's $3,050 positive to the city.
All right, good. So I'm guessing that we're all good with that one then. Resolution 102, appointing commissioners of deeds. Everybody okay with this? Any questions, concerns? Tony Davis?
Tony Davis here. Ren or Andrew, you might want to explain for, I'm not sure, just for clarification for the newer members and the commissioners of deeds. I believe we are commissioners of deeds, right?
Yeah, Elisa just received the list today, and she put it on the website. I have not looked at it, but our names should be all on there now. I was gonna look at it before to make sure.
Jeffrey Morrell?
No, I was just going to say that this is pretty standard. We do it every year. It's just to assign the commissioners of deeds for the city, and I believe every member of the council is on that list, or at least we were last time. I don't know. I haven't seen the new list.
Yeah, it's on the
Steve
website if
Shabbat.
anybody wants to take a look.
Steve Shabbat?
Yeah, don't we usually have to sign? Don't we usually have to sign something? I don't know if it's every year that we have to do it. We have to sign something, right?
Yeah.
You listen
So
to
you are all on the list and you all need to sign in front of a notary. So it's different than coming into my
Hi,
office.
Rita.
You can do it with Janet or any other notary. And it's every 2 years.
I can't notarize myself though.
Is it legal?
Is it still? Can
Is
you
it
still do
legal
it
if your
virtually?
wife is a notary to have her sign it?
Can you still do notarizing? There we go. Rita?
Sorry, say it again.
Because I know for a while there's an executive order that says you can get things notarized virtually. Is that still possible?
That's still in effect.
Huh.
And so I was asking if your wife is a notary, can she,
I would say no, because you have the same last name.
okay. Kevin's shaking his head no. All right, I got to go out and do it. All right, Tony Davis?
Tony Davis here. Elisa, when do we need to have this done by? Is there a date?
Yeah, I believe you have 30 days after it's passed.
And where would we get that form?
I'll get it for you, Tony. How's that? I'll send it to all of you.
All righty, thank you. I was just looking and I didn't see it on here. All right, thank you.
President Schott?
Tony asked my question.
Okay. All right, good. So everybody's good with that then. Then we will move to Resolution 103, acknowledging receipt of Phase 1, 2, and 3 of the full environmental assessment form for the open space plan. Jeffrey Morrell?
Yeah, so this is, we've been discussing the open space plan on the Laws and Rules Committee for a while, and this is just the next step in the seeker process. We're just acknowledging that we received all the documents pertaining to the seeker determination, and at our next meeting, we will go through it line by line and ask the pertinent questions before we make a determination.
Great. Yes, President Schott?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's to look at it yet, but it's a long one and it has lots of questions. So it would be definitely helpful to take a look at that and maybe see if you could come up with questions that you're going to present before the Laws and Rules meeting would be super helpful. So you all have it because it was on last month's agenda, and Elisa, I guess we'll go back on as old business. So it'll be on this month's agenda too. But yeah, it's long and there's a lot of things to consider. So I would take a look ahead of time.
And it's also one of those government documents where some of the terminology may not be clear. So you definitely want to take a look at that. And any parts you don't understand, let's figure that out real quick. Okay. Great. Resolution 104, adding handicapped parking on Spring Street. Everybody okay with this? All right. Resolution 105. This is the Wilbur Avenue repaving project, Type 2 seeker. Jeffrey Morel, speak to that, please.
Yes, Jeffrey Ventura Morel here. So this is just determining that there is no environmental impact being caused as a result of this project, and so that the project can move forward.
Everybody okay with that? All right, good. And then the last one is the second reading and vote on local law 3, which is Jeffrey Ventura Morel. Yes?
Yes, the local law proposal that came out of your special housing subcommittee to require landlords to register the source of their funding. But I have a concern now that the governor has extended his eviction moratorium until August 20th. So I'm not sure if this is still necessary because it will add extra work to the buildings department. And we've known for years that department is understaffed, and even more so now that some employees have been furloughed. So I'm not sure if this is going to make a difference, since this was to extend the eviction moratorium to a period that's already covered by the governor's new executive order.
Do we know if the building safety department was able to send out the communication instructing all Kingston landlords, all Kingston housing providers, that they needed to be aware of the federal regulation?
I have not heard any update on that.
Michelle Hirsch?
Alderwoman Michelle Hirsch here. The last I spoke with Dan Gartenstein a couple of weeks ago, he said it was underway.
Underway. Okay. Can somebody take on getting in touch with building safety to find out?
Does Kevin know? Is Kevin?
Kevin was getting a cookie.
Not quite getting a cookie, but thanks. No, I don't know to what extent the building department has done anything.
Thank you.
All right. So
I don't think that Michelle Hirsch here, I don't think there's any harm in continuing with getting clarification on the mortgages per buildings, because the city of Kingston actually doesn't know which mortgages are held privately and which are, public, federal. Yes.
Kevin Bryant here. Yeah, the moratorium doesn't have any impact with respect to the information that you're requiring be disclosed based on this local law. So clearly the benefit by passing this is going to go well beyond.
Okay, other points? So we may have a discussion of this one tomorrow night then. That'll be fine if we do. Okay, anything else anybody wants to say? All right, Michelle Hirsch?
Yes, I just want to say that the memorializing resolution in support of the Emergency Rent Relief Act of 2020 did pass the Senate and Assembly last week. The bill that Senator Kavanaugh sponsored, and it's going before Governor Cuomo to be signed. And that would allocate $100 million in rental assistance to tenants in New York who are struggling.
Oh, great. Do we have any idea whether the governor is going to sign it?
I expect that he will. I haven't heard anything otherwise.
Okay. And speaking of housing, I'd like to let everyone know that the Housing Subcommittee will be meeting this Thursday to discuss the various aspects of short-term rental regulations. We have put on the agenda all of the a lot of different documents. So if you want to get up to speed along with us, I strongly recommend you take a look at those. We've got several other laws that have been passed, related laws, or are proposed in Ulster County and one or two other Hudson River Valley communities. There's also a number of different articles from different points of view that talk about this and some other data. You're, of course, absolutely welcome to go do your own research, look beyond this, look into it whatever way you want. I just wanted to make some things available so that folks could have a sense of the different parameters that are involved in looking at this kind of regulation, so that we can come up with a response that we all feel comfortable with. All right. Any questions about that? Yes, Rita?
No questions about that, but I just wanted to put info out on this Wednesday. There'll be a rally at the Academy Green Park. I think there was a message, an email that was sent out to all council members, but that begins at 5. My understanding that some of our county electeds will be there, including County Exec Ryan, Sheriff Figueroa is planning on attending, and also Ulster County DA Dave Clegg is attending. So if you're not doing anything, please show up and stand in solidarity for what's going on right now in our world.
And that, again, that's just Wednesday right?
Correct.
Do you know, are they going to stay at Academy of Green, or is there going to be a march also?
I believe there will be a march. However, I don't know what the final destination is.
Okay.
It is
All right.
advertised a walk, but it doesn't advertise the final destination. But it does say a walk.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, we'll find out then. I know a number of us plan on going to that. All right. Anything else? Any other announcements, concerns, issues somebody wants to raise? If not, then we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. I get a motion and a second, or at least a wave. Favor? Aye. All right, great. Thanks everybody for showing up, and we look forward to seeing you all tomorrow night at 7:30.